Good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I'm going to title your story, Shannon. I'm going to title it Having the Courage to Have a Great Life and a Great Business. Is that cool?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So let me start out by asking you this. On average right now, just give people a context, how many units would you say that you close a year? You've been relatively consistent. So how many units do you relatively?
It's average out the last 3 years is 110-ish.
Okay. So let's go through your weekly schedule right now. How many hours would you say that you work a week?
I would say I'd average about 32 hours a week.
Okay. And how many weeks of vacation would you say that you take a year?
So we take structured 3 weeks, and then I would say we take an average of 5 to 6 weeks total off.
5 to 6 weeks. So 32 hours a week, 5 to 6 weeks off a year. And now let's go through your days. So what would you say like a typical Monday looks like, what a Tuesday looks like, what a Wednesday looks like, what a Thursday looks like, and what a Friday looks like for you?
So I structured my week that Mondays and Tuesdays are really drive days. And so I really work my butt off on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I start around 8:30, I finish up by 5, but it is go time, drive to set up the entire week so I can cruise through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then on Wednesdays, for the last 11 years, I've had a women's group that I get together with every Wednesday morning, and we either go hiking or backcountry skiing, and then we go for coffee and a little lunch and whatnot, and I usually get in the office around 1 p.m. on Wednesdays, and then I'll work until 5-ish. And then on Thursdays, I'm back in the office, and I get in around 9 and work until 4:30 or 5-ish. And then on Fridays, it just depends on what's kind of going on. I'll work 9 to 4-ish on Fridays, and usually I can bust out by 4.
How did you get the courage to set this up? Like, how did you get over that hump? How did you get over the fear? And why did you originally set your weeks up like this?
So, I'm very compartmentalized. So I definitely am very driven. I'm very linear thinking. So I sit down and do a task, just straight through it, and not get sidetracked and whatnot. I would say the biggest trigger in the adjustment in my schedule was 19 years ago when my daughter was born. That was when I knew that being a mom was going to be the most critical, most important thing that I could possibly do. And I wasn't going to let business interfere with that, and making sure that I had good structure, that my kids know I work, but honestly, there's a lot of times where they're like, you work, because when we get in the car, I don't get on the cell phone. I focus on them, and I've been enough year after year after year.
That is so beautiful. So, big question when I look at you is it possible to have a great life and a great business in the mortgage business?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do it.
So what advice would you give somebody that's struggling? I would say, Shannon, this is one of the top 3 probably that I see from clients is them struggling between the work-life balance, and it's never a function of the balance. It's always some sort of limiting belief or something around that you can't do that. So what would you say to anybody that's struggling, that's listening on and going, hey, you know what, I'd love to do that too, but, right? Then comes their limiting belief. What would you say to them?
First of all, don't believe that. And second of all, don't think that you have to set up your whole week. Set up an hour and a half in the morning to be structured, and then let the rest of the day just flow through, and just give yourself an end time of the day, whether it's 5:30, and be done. Shut it off, because
love that.
Tomorrow, one thing I've learned tremendously from my Wednesdays is I really, truly, truly don't believe by taking those 4 hours off and being with my girlfriends, and I'm telling you, it's therapy for me. I don't think I've missed a deal.
Right. I
don't think I have.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Shannon. I know that somebody needed to hear that this morning, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, and it's so fun watching you build a great life and a great business.